This episode of Nerdist News Edition is sponsored by Captive State.
Aren't you the cutest little thing?
Is Goose the cat the real reason Agent Coulson got resurrected? Agent Phil Coulson may be the most accurate representation of a comic book character on the big screen today. I mean, this dude has died again and again and again, but somehow keeps coming back with everything from a robot hand to a flaming skull head. What's going on? But now we have a new fan theory that could explain once and for all how Coulson came back from the Great Beyond in the first place, and it's all thanks to Goose the cat. That's right, everyone's favorite Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. may have been indirectly resurrected as a result of everyone's favorite Flerken. But in order to explain how this happened, we're gonna have to spoil Captain Marvel. So if you haven't seen it yet, you might wanna make like this old lady and conk out for a few until this is all over. Now this theory comes courtesy of Nerdist's own Kate Myers, and here's what you need to know. In the original Avengers movie, Agent Phil Coulson, he who was instrumental in bringing together Earth's mightiest heroes, is brutally murdered by that handsome creep Loki, or so we were led to believe. Phil Coulson next popped up on the spin-off series Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. looking very alive and shockingly well for a dead man. During that first season, whenever this touchy subject of his untimely demise came up, he would cryptically refer to spending time in Tahiti, which I have to admit, does sound pretty restorative. This magical place that Coulson spoke of was of course a reference to something called Project Tahiti. Project Tahiti, which stands for Terrestrialized Alien Host Integrative Tissue 1, was a top secret S.H.I.E.L.D. initiative meant to use a recovered alien corpse to make medicine that could save a mortally wounded Avenger from potentially dying. But they didn't use just any old Chitauri corpse lying around after the Battle of New York. They used a Kree corpse, which is shown decomposing and suspended in a tube of blue liquid. So the question is, where the heck did they get that Kree corpse anyway? Because as far as I know, Blue Man Group isn't a Kree sleeper cell in the MCU. Now the answer is Goose the cat, or should I say, Goose the Flerken. In the comics, it's said that Flerkens, unlike normal cats, contain entire pocket dimensions inside their mouths. So it naturally follows that whatever they eat wouldn't just be digested then deposited in a litter box somewhere in Nick Fury's office. It would still exist relatively intact, as we see in the second post-credit scene when Goose hacks up the slightly sticky Tesseract onto Nick Fury's desk. Now the Tesseract wasn't the only snack inside of Goose's stomach. The tentacle-mouthed tabby also treated himself to an all-you-can-eat smorgasbord of Kree commandos aboard Mar-Vell's hidden spaceship orbiting the Earth, which means that these mildly munched Kree were being stored inside of Goose's body and were very likely hacked up at a later date and seized by S.H.I.E.L.D. scientists for further examination and eventual use in Project Tahiti. Now, we actually had the chance to ask Agent Coulson himself about this theory when Clark Gregg stopped by the Nerdist office to chat about all things Captain Marvel, and here's what he had to say.
Kate Myers is a fiendish genius. It's a brilliant theory. I've often wondered where that Kree, or part of a Kree, came from that was used for the Tahiti project. It seems very plausible.
But what do you think? Do you buy that Goose the cat is indirectly responsible for Coulson coming back to life? What else could be in that adorable Flerken's stomach? Let's discuss. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and share this video, and make sure you tag your friends in the comments below. And until the next time that you prove to be so hard to kill that you're basically Kenny from South Park, stay tuned to Nerdist.com.
Agent Coulson was killed in action before the battle in New York. Got the full report.
Welcome to Level 7.
Thanks again to Captive State for sponsoring today's episode. From the director of Rise of the Planet of the Apes comes Captive State. Set in a Chicago neighborhood nearly a decade after an occupation by an extraterrestrial force, Captive State explores the lives on both sides of the conflict, the legislature and the resistance. 10 years later, Gabriel, the catalyst for the resistance, rises as their leader, sparking a fire that ignites the war for the world. Watch Captive State now, playing in theaters.